everyone. Welcome back to the Long Lens Podcast. This is the podcast where I answer questions from my filmmaking community, and we just talk about filmmaking and YouTube. Today, I got a really special guest that I'm really stoked on, Zach Mayfield. Zach is a filmmaker, YouTuber, former editor for Matt Diavella. Is that correct?
Correct, yes.
And he is also a former host of the Kinotika YouTube channel, which I watched a bunch. And he has just recently surpassed 100,000 subscribers on his own personal YouTube channel.
Good.
Zach, thanks so much for being here, man.
Dude, thanks for having me on. Feels good to have one YouTube friend. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no. And I guess we were talking a little bit before we started about like I first found your channel back when you were doing like GH5 content. I think that's how I found you. You had like really long hair and you were balancing GH5s on like the Z and Crane gimbals.
Yeah, that literally feels like a different lifetime. That's so crazy. Yeah, man, I was like a diehard Panasonic shooter, like definitely fanboy. And I have questions for you too, because I know you like Lumix cameras. So I'm excited to talk to you about all that stuff. But yeah, the GH5, the speed booster and the 18 to 35 was like the first camera that I was like obsessed with. I loved everything about that camera, figuring out its quirks and how to work around them. And I know you have experience with it too. And then you rebought it, right?
Yeah. I've been on this kick where I've been like rebuying like the old cameras that I used to use and just kind of seeing like if I can get better stuff with them now that I have a little more experience than I did back when I owned them.
That's a good idea. Yeah. See, like even like your color grading and stuff like now versus 4 or 5 years ago, like putting your sauce on it from now on an older camera, like it probably looks way better.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I kind of wanted to get like a really just like a brief like backstory on like kind of like how you got to where you are right now, because I feel like it's been kind of like you've been kind of like all over the place as far as like a content creator. Like you've worked for other YouTube channels, you've hosted a YouTube channel, you've created your own YouTube channel. So kind of just give me a backstory of like when you first started filmmaking, kind of like up until now.
Okay, so the year was 1993. No, I won't go back that far. I mean, I got into filmmaking and cameras as a little kid. I have my first camera here. It's a Sony Handycam.
Oh,
for all you camcorder addicts out there. I hold on to this camera and keep it on my desk as a reminder, like why I started. And it was just to have fun with my sister and my friends, because I grew up in a town of 300 people in Nebraska. So there was literally nothing to do. Where are you from originally?
Yeah, I'm from Portland, Oregon. Yeah, where I am.
Okay, sick. It's so beautiful out there.
Oh, yeah.
Legit, like one of probably the most beautiful place I've been to in the United States. And we can get into that because that's part of my YouTube journey too. But I got into filmmaking like super young, making home videos. And it just kind of like stuck with me in my life as I just like progressed and everything. And I feel like it was, I just feel like, I feel like I was born to do it in a way. Like it was planted on me, like I think from God, just like part of my path. Because I got super into music as a kid as well. And like my ultimate dream was to become a touring musician and like signed to a record label or whatever. And I ended up doing that, but it wasn't what I expected. And in the background of my life, this like camera stuff was like always sitting there like boiling basically. And then I just realized through this like music process, like, oh, I'm obsessed with filmmaking and cameras and photography. And like, that's when I decided to go full swing with it basically. So yeah, my journey has been all over the place. And I originally started my YouTube channel with the intention of documenting my travels as a touring musician.
Okay.
I was in like a really small metal band on like a small label. So it was nothing fancy at all. We were like poor for 6 years. We lived in our van essentially. And I basically made like a documentary series of vlogs with the GH5 actually.
Wow.
Just documenting that. And that's like how I practiced filmmaking, was just making these documentary vlog videos of my band, and eventually got more into the gear stuff as well. But yeah, I don't know. There's so many directions I could go, because there's the music stuff. And then eventually like I got into freelancing full time. And then Kinotika, if anybody knows what the heck that is.
I mean, dude, like I was a huge Kinotika fan. That's actually, I think, how like Dave Altizer got on like my radars, because he was like he was doing a lot with Kinotika.
I was a fan too, by the way. Like I watched Dave and Connor all the time, and now they're two of my best friends. We all live in the Nashville area.
That's awesome.
But I made this stupid video titled like I'm moving to Nashville or something because I was living in Kansas City. And Dave saw that video because he was Googling like GH5 Nashville or something.
Oh my gosh.
And saw that video and emailed me. And then we met up at this restaurant. We were both wearing the same exact pink shirt. It was super weird. And like instantly had a connection. And that's what led to me like taking over that channel when he decided to back out of it, basically. It was crazy.
Well, that's crazy. Yeah. Like how did you, so you kind of like fell into like the role of like the Kinotika host, it sounds like, but how did you get to working with like Matt Diavella and stuff like that?
Dude, it's funny because I always kind of like, not hate's too strong a word, but like I never had a desire to make gear videos.
Yeah.
Like, I just wanted to make like funny vlogs and documentary style vlogs and stuff like that. But I was doing full-time freelance like filmmaking and photography to support my dream of music because that made no money.
Yeah.
And basically just through doing that, I leveled up my skills over the course of multiple years. Started doing the Kinotika thing during COVID, which was like a blessing because I lost a lot of freelance stuff because everybody did.
Oh yeah.
And then like, what happened? Oh yeah, I made a video about retro camcorders and posted a clip of it on Instagram. And then 6 months later, I looked back at that post. It was like 3 a.m. I couldn't fall asleep. And I was like, I'm just going to look at some of my old stupid stuff. And so I like click on this Instagram video and I scroll down and there's a freaking comment from Matt Diavella.
Oh my gosh.
And I watched all of his stuff from like, since he had like 20,000 subscribers probably.
Yeah.
Like every video. And I literally like started screaming in my apartment at 3 a.m. Like I definitely woke my roommates up and I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to do something. Like I have to like try to like get in touch with him. So I like make this whole video and then I make a website called getmatt on zachschannel.com. Like I had my buddy help me design it.
Oh my
and like
gosh.
I had my channel was really small at the time, but like I had a bunch of people like blast him on Twitter basically.
Oh my gosh.
And he commented on the YouTube video and was like, dude, you could have just DM'd me. Like, yeah, let's make a video. So it was so funny. Like I went way too hard on it, but I love doing that stuff.
Yeah.
And that was also the time I was like getting engaged. So life is crazy, but Matt ended up asking me if I wanted to hop on like a FaceTime or a Google Meet, whatever it was. And I was like, oh yes, please. And so like he calls me, I'm seeing Matt Diavella on my laptop screen, which was like the weirdest thing in the world. I'm like, this guy that I've been watching is talking to me.
Yeah.
What the heck? And then he's like, do you want to be like one of my full-time editors? I was like, what? I crap my pants.
That's
on
insane.
the spot. Had to change my shorts basically. But it just like led down this whole process of like working for Matt for a year and a half and totally like revolutionized my editing skills and like just my theory on editing and filmmaking in general. Like, dude, it felt like the Karate Kid where like Matt was my sensei, my master for a year and a half. And like it was such a key like point of my career just to learn vital lessons and skills with editing and filmmaking. And I'll always cherish it. And me and Matt stay in touch now. I don't work for him anymore, but
yeah.
He's a freaking great dude. And he's like you, he's like himself in real life, just like he is on camera, basically.
That's really cool. I feel like, I don't know, it's interesting to hear how that all kind of like panned out. And was working for Matt, did that kind of like, did it give you any like spark to kind of like want to go for the whole YouTube thing a little bit more? Cause I used to like, I worked for a really big YouTube channel back in the day, back in like the 2012 era. It's like for like this.
Really?
Yeah. It was for a channel called Gizmo Slip. It wasn't like a super long thing. I think it was like 3 or 4 months, but I was kind of like their production intern and, camera op. But like, we went and we met up with a bunch of like, like big YouTubers, like, back in the day. I feel like, do you know who Zach King is?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so we met up and like we shot some videos with Zach King. This is like back in like the 2012 era.
So sick.
But like when I saw like people like him, I was like, oh, he's not just making a little bit of a living on YouTube. Like he's thriving on YouTube. Like I want to do that. You know what I mean? So like, so that's what I always like. I wonder if people like like you who have worked for bigger YouTubers, like, oh, okay, like I see how they're doing it. Like I want to do this as well. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah. Working for Matt, like basically pulled the curtain off of the back end of YouTube as a business and just like opened my eyes to the reality of like it being a lucrative job. Just like even with the way Matt would write, structure, edit courses and then sell them, and like we would have like weekly meetings and stuff too, and like we would get to see like the behind the scenes of that and stuff too, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like there's so much potential in this world of YouTube, and you can do it in a way that's like ethically on point and like great for the viewer. You don't have to take advantage of people to make money. And that's the one thing I loved about Matt and his content is like, it's all very real and honest. And also it's a lucrative business, which is, I mean, you seem like that kind of person too, where like, you're not just trying to like steal people's money or like, you don't make clickbaity videos or anything like that. Yeah, dude, it was life-changing.
That's crazy.
So, I mean, I'm still just figuring it out. Like you said, I'm all over the place. I'm an idiot just trying to like figure this whole thing out.
No, dude.
I'm in, let's see, I'm in my 4th month of full-time YouTube, and it's terrifying. Yeah. But like slowly figuring it out.
It's funny because I think I saw you post something on like Instagram where you're just like, I don't know, you were saying something of that nature, just like, I still know what I'm doing or whatever. And it's like, I've been doing YouTube full-time for, I think this is my 4th year. And I feel the exact same way. Like I still don't feel like I know what I'm doing. It's funny.
And I've seen interviews of large creators too. Like, I don't know if you know who Curtis Connor is. He's like a comedian.
Yeah, I love Curtis.
Love his channel. Love his channel. Me and my wife watch him all the time. But I've even seen interviews of him on Colin and Samir and stuff, and he's like, yeah, it feels like it could all end any day.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you're feeling like that, when your videos are getting literally millions of views in a day, I feel that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
It feels like it could crumble.
Yeah. Okay, so I have another question that kind of is in the same vein with you know, like working with other YouTubers. But so you said that like to get Matt Diavella's attention, you kind of like did all this like, you know, kind of crazy stuff instead of just, you know, DMing him on Instagram. That kind of makes me, you've worked with probably the GOAT of camera filmmaking YouTube space, Philip Bloom. Like you've collaborated with him on your videos. And did you have to do something like similar to get his attention, or did you just like DM him?
Dude, that was the weirdest one for me in the best way. Because I think he watched some of the Kinotika videos from like the Dave and Connor era. So when I inherited that channel and became the host, I made my very first video that was just me was this big Fuji X-T4 review, and I had like a cultish like following around the X-T4 from this like my channel. I don't know. I think Philip saw that video and commented on it, and it was a super encouraging comment, and it was another one of those like mind blowing moments because. Like you, I don't know how long you've been watching him, but I've been watching him forever.
Oh, same. Yeah, I've been watching him since the 5D Mark II videos. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's insane. And I remember I had some filmmaking friends of mine who were like way more talented than me, like texted me and they're like, dude, Philip Bloom commented on your video. What the heck? I was like, yeah, I don't know what's happening. Yeah. He's like a celebrity in our niche, which is so cool.
It's so weird how like, if some like actual celebrity commented on my video, like, okay, that'd be cool. But for some reason, like, you know, like people in like the YouTube space, like if Philip Bloom comments, like I had the guy from Camera Labs, he comments on my videos every once in a while. I'm just like, wow, I'm like way more stoked that like you were even watching my videos like than you even realize.
It adds pressure too though. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I gotta actually know what I'm doing. It feels like. But basically like we would just talk on and off like on Instagram DMs after that, which is so cool. And I was making a video about the GH1 because I have this series called Retro Review where I just like revisit cameras of past eras that are cheap and like see how they hold up or just like make a fun video about them. And as I was researching the GH1, I found these like old Panasonic videos on like a Panasonic UK channel, and it was like Philip Bloom test footage. I was like, wait, what is this? And it was like cool looking. So I DM'd him and was like, hey, I found your old video. Like, do you want to be in my video about the GH1? And he was like, yeah. So I sent him a script that like gave him a couple lines that like fit in with a bit that I wrote. And then I just told him like, here, just give me your experience on the camera and touch on it like unscripted. And he was so awesome about it. Like his bits in that video are so good. But yeah, basically me and Philip Bloom just talked on and off through Instagram DMs. He did those bits in my video, which like the first part was scripted and then his thoughts later in the video are unscripted. And he just crushed it. And I watched that video back after I edited it and I was like, How's Philip Bloom in my video?
Yeah.
This is so crazy.
Well, like I was watching like that video and I was like, man, he got Philip Bloom. Like he just knows everybody. Like what's going on here?
And I really feel like I don't know everybody. That's what's weird is like I know like a few like cool people in our space, and then I kind of like in some ways I kind of feel like an outsider in our space because I don't know if you feel this. Maybe it's just an insecurity of mine, but I don't like making videos about all the new stuff.
Yeah.
It's like that's what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
And I think I think it's starting to really come to light right now, but there's just like so much consumerism being pushed in our space, and I don't know. That's why I'm leaning into the retro stuff, the older cameras and tech, because it's more fun for me, and it's not really pushing an agenda. It's just like having a good time with filmmaking, basically.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way because I mean, with my channel, it's mostly focused on like budget, like the budget aspect of filmmaking. And so I'm not typically talking about the latest and greatest stuff. And because of that, I feel like I'm not getting invited to like all these different expos and stuff like that, or like, flown out to Japan for all the new cameras and whatnot. Like, I don't talk about the new stuff. And it's funny because I was talking to some executives at like a camera company. I won't mention which one, but like, when I was talking to them, they were just like, oh, we never really saw you as like a camera reviewer. So that's why we never reached out to you in the past. And I was just like, okay, that makes sense. I guess I don't review the latest and coolest cameras. So why would you, Yeah. And so I kind of feel like there is like this group of like filmmaking YouTubers who all kind of like hang out with each other, and then I'm just kind of on like the sidelines,
Yeah.
Like I don't know
we
if you
can
ever
be on
feel
the sidelines together, dude.
Yeah.
We'll be the water boys.
Yeah, there we go. I'm totally cool with it though. Like I don't know, for some reason, I think the idea of constantly getting a new camera and just trying to like push it is, I don't know, that just seems really, really exhausting. I don't know if you watched that latest video that Patrick Tommaso posted about how
me and Patrick text on and off like throughout the week, and like we were like cutting it up after that video. That video was awesome.
Dude, I sent that to so many of my friends. It was just like, you just need to hear this because this is so good.
He's a legend, man. And he's one of those creators that's in our space that figured out how to crack the shell of just talking about gear. Cause he did like tech tutorials, gear videos for a really long time.
Yeah.
And then his freaking Batman video. I don't know if you ever saw that.
Oh, absolutely. That was so good.
Oh my gosh. He like found it with that one. And I've had discussions with him about content over the years, and he's just so zero BS, which I think people are going to start craving that a lot more moving forward because of this like really over exaggerated hype like time period we're in with YouTube. I think the pendulum is swinging back more toward like relaxed, chill, like honest kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And he fits that, you fit that. And I'm trying to find ways to fit in that too, because my style is naturally like a little more hyper and weird and goofy just because that's how I am.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to find like, how can I pair that with like the authenticity and honesty that people want as well, and that I want to be.
Like I particularly like that sentiment that he made, where it's just like YouTubers are kind of becoming an extension of like the marketing agency almost, And
Yes.
I like the idea of people kind of turning away from that a little bit and not just being shills for camera brands,
Well, that can only last for so long.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, like those kinds of videos are not gonna like get a lot of views anyway. So like, I guess maybe like camera company. I don't know. I don't want to like get too into like tinfoil hat stuff, but I don't know like if people are getting paid by camera companies or whatnot. I guess we'll just see where it goes and like just keep doing our thing.
Yeah, I mean, like I was accused of being paid by Sony for talking bad about Panasonic. I was like, that would be hilarious if that was the case, but it's not.
Dude, yeah, they're like, hey, here's some money. Like, go roast them.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, why would they care about us like that?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I had a question because I have a list of questions for you too. And one of my questions for you is how do other YouTubers afford to have 18 cameras? I can't afford to get all these new things also.
Yeah, like I have
and make videos about them.
No, I have like 2 cameras. Like I have like one really cheap camera that I do stuff with, and then my S5 IIX, which my S5 IIX was gifted to me by Panasonic, so maybe I am a shill.
You're a shill, dude.
Yeah, but I mean,
you're fired.
Yeah, I have like 2 cameras and an Osmo Action. You know what I mean? And when I want to get like a new camera, like I sold my GH5 after I was kind of done using it, and I bought this little camera, and I'm gonna make a video on this and then sell it, and then just keep like rinse and repeat. Yeah, I don't have like a shelf full of cameras that I just pick from. Like it seems like a lot of other people do.
Dude, I know. I'm like, what are you guys doing business wise that I am not figuring out?
Well, like I know that
how to like.
I know that some people like they buy it, review it, and return it, which that just seems like so much money tied up in like credit card payments that it just doesn't really like seem like something I want to do. But I mean, kudos if they've made it work.
Dude, I actually did that one time for it was for this camera called, what was that one? It was one of my retro reviews. It was the full frame Sony Handycam.
Oh my gosh,
so there was a bunch of them on eBay, but like a lot of them were like either didn't come with the right lenses or like attachments or something. And then I found one on Amazon that like had prime shipping and like free returns for 30 days. So I was like, what the heck? But it was so expensive because I got it on Amazon.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, I'm going to do this, make the video. And like, if I decide not to keep it, I'll return it. And that's ultimately what I did, was return it. But I don't know exactly what people are doing, but I mean, I did want to ask you too about like your business as well, since you said you've been full-time for 4 years. His connection's unstable, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. I noticed that you have a Patreon, and you said you have LUTs and stuff available. Have you enjoyed going the Patreon route versus like YouTube memberships or selling individual products, or like what's your kind of thoughts on that stuff?
So I chose to do Patreon just because I'm kind of with the same like Curtis Connor mindset, where it's just like YouTube could just get deleted tomorrow or something like that. So I want to have like a secondary place where it's just like if somebody hacks my YouTube channel or something like that, I'll have another place that I'll have a little bit of a community built up.
Okay.
And that's the reason for Patreon versus like YouTube memberships. And as far as like the LUTs, like my Patreon members get my $5 LUTs for free, but like I still, like I make an okay amount with like my $5 LUTs, just like, selling them. Especially I found that the LUTs that are created for cameras on like the lower end are actually selling a lot better for me. Like I make LUTs for like, Cine D on like these little cheap Panasonic cameras. And then my Cinestyle LUTs probably sell the best because a lot of people shoot with those cheap Canon cameras and they all install Cinestyle onto their cameras. So those do work. I also sell, some PDF, quick start camera guides and stuff like that. I'm trying to get more into digital products. I've been creating like some pro level LUTs that have taken me a little bit longer to create, that are for, a little bit higher end cameras. As far as like my revenue, those things are kind of on the lower end, Patreon and digital products. It's mostly like Google AdSense and then sponsors. I don't know if that's the same for you.
Yeah, no, that's super interesting to hear, because I'm dabbling with digital products as well. And that was another thing I learned a lot from Matt, was just like courses and products and stuff like that. But yeah, that's like, I'm trying to like figure out what I want to do with that stuff. And then for me, the main income right now is sponsors. AdSense would be second. But yeah, it's a weird world that we live in, where it's like dealing with sponsors and stuff like that. Are you trying to be on a schedule with posting, or is it thrown off because you always have to get sponsor approval?
Dude,
or what's that like for you?
That's like the weirdest thing, because for the longest time when sponsors weren't really like needed, like 2020, 2021, I was making enough that like if a sponsor wanted to sponsor a video, fine. But like if they didn't, it wouldn't hurt at all. But now I feel like, because I feel like, like views and everything were a little bit inflated during COVID, everything's starting to like level out. Yeah. So now it's like, like AdSense has gone down, affiliate stuff has gone down. And so now like sponsors are like the main thing. And I don't try to like, like live and breathe by like if I have a sponsor on a video, but it does make sense that if I'm making this video, it's taking a lot of time and effort, it does make sense to put a sponsor in there. So like, even if the video doesn't, get 100,000 views, at least I'll still, get some money for all the effort that I've put into it.
Totally.
So yeah, I mean, I definitely, it's weird. It's weird having to like have sponsors on your videos, because it does kind of seem like, you're just working freelance again, trying to like please a client, you know?
Totally.
So
it's like it's the lesser of two evil freelances in my mind. I would way rather get like a sponsor's approval because in my head, like the content is still mine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even if I was like, dude, this sucks working with this person, you could just like break off from them if it was that bad. I've never had an experience like that, but actually, wait, no, I have had one like that, but it wasn't anything too bad. Whereas like if you're making a freelance video, like the entire piece of work
it's dependent.
all revolves around their opinion. I'm like, oh, I don't miss that.
I used to be so like, I don't know, like so strict about sponsored integrations where I would tell them like, if you have a approval process that's more than just me sending you an unlisted link a day before I want to post it, then I don't want to work with you, you know? Like if I have to send you a script and all this stuff, then like I don't want to work with you. I'm changing my tune a little bit now because it seems like every single company wants like a script approval and they want, you know, all this, you know, different stuff, which I can like, I'm okay with, especially if the money is right. But if it's like a smaller company that's just, you know, trying to, I don't know, like lowball me and it's just like, well, then you don't get a long approval process. You get an unlisted link the day before I post it. Like that's all you get.
I love talking about this stuff. And I talked about this with Patrick Tomaso on his second channel too. It's so interesting to me that like some sponsors won't work with you again unless you like get a certain amount of conversions or like purchases to their product.
Yeah.
And I like talking about this to get these ideas out there, but it's so annoying to me because when I watch an NBA game, I'm obsessed with basketball, but like when I watch an NBA game, like I don't buy everything from every ad that I see. Otherwise I'd be eating McDonald's, Burger King, like Chipotle the whole night, which honestly sounds pretty fun, but that's like, it's more, I feel like they should be more aware that they're paying for like their brand awareness, like across multiple channels. Like, I don't know. Yeah,
that's going to essentially live on your platform until you decide to take it off, which could be forever. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's what like, I forget who I was talking to, but like, I think of like my YouTube channel almost as like a billboard on a highway, you know? Like, if I'm going to be talking about your product, I'm putting it up on my billboard and it's going to be there till kingdom come. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, even if you don't see conversions in the first, 3 months, like someone could see that, like 2 years down the line.
Dude, yeah, it could be 5 years. Like sometimes videos randomly like pop off like 2 years after you post it.
Yeah.
Like, never know. But yeah, that always annoys me a little bit. So I like talking about that with other creators. Just to get your opinion.
Well, I was kind of curious. You brought up your retro camera series, which I think is great. I thought like one of my favorite series on YouTube to watch is like the stuff that you review, which is like, because I feel like you and me are similar ages, so I feel like we probably grew up around the same cameras that used to be popular and now they're not.
Yeah.
But I kind of had I was curious as to, I mean, you don't have to like spoil anything, but what's on the horizon for the retro camera series?
Ooh,
you got like more camcorders? Are you going to like dive into like the HD mini DV territory or what?
Yeah. So I'm super open-minded to any style of like older cameras. I've even considered like maybe trying out like film cameras because I've never shot film before. And I think that would be a really fun process to find really cool film cameras, but also like document the process of me like learning how to shoot film. I think that'd be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just released the JCPenney camcorder video, and that was one of my favorites. I love that one.
That was so good.
I saw your comment on the VX1000 video because that was my first time ever using a VX, and it was I kept that camera because like it's so sick. And
dude, I don't know how you got that in such pristine condition, dude. Like skateboarders around the world would kill for something of that. Like
it's so
like
clean.
How minty that is.
It's so clean, dude. So yeah, I'm hanging on to that one for sure. The JCPenney one, I might keep it, but we'll see. My next one, I'll just give you a little nugget of love. Basically, I'm gonna do the Panasonic AGAF 100. I don't know if you know what that camera is. Oh my
gosh, dude! Okay. I don't know if you've ever watched The Raid.
No.
The Raid Redemption. Dude, go watch The Raid Redemption. It was shot by not Gareth Edwards, but his name sounds like that.
Okay.
But it was shot with the AF100. The entire movie was shot on that camera.
Oh my gosh, that's so perfect.
And dude, it's so good. It's like a non-stop choreographed fight scene. It's so sick.
Dude, that's so perfect. I'm so glad we're talking about this because that's like I'll be able to do a bit on that in the video for sure.
Yeah.
But that's
dude, it's like, I mean,
the next one.
Dude, that's so sick. And that's like the Micro Four Thirds Panasonic Cinema camera, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I've been watching all these old YouTube videos. There's so much gold on YouTube with old cameras.
Yeah.
Like all the old expos and stuff, like it's so cringy, but so awesome. Like people nerding out about these cameras 14 years ago. And yeah, I found some good stuff that will go in that video. So that's going to be super
That's
fun.
awesome.
Do you have any recommendations?
I'm stoked for that. Okay, so like you did the VX1000. This one wasn't as popular, but it was kind of like a cult camera for a lot of the skate filmers. It was the TRV 900. The people that couldn't afford the VX1000 would buy that.
Okay.
I owned the Canon GL1 back in the day.
That's on my list too.
Yeah, that one was like everybody hated it because it wasn't the GL2 and this like the colors sucked. But that's all I could afford back in back when I was trying to film skateboarding. And then the Canon HV30 was another one that I had back in the day.
Okay,
and that one was like one of the first mini DV like high definition camcorders that shot in 24p. So it was like
sick.
I think Philip Bloom even did a review on that one.
Nice.
So like it was like my pride and joy back when I had it.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I'll definitely look into those because I'm trying to lean way more into that stuff. And I feel like a lot of the times my retro videos, like, it seems like they resonate with people more and they will like perform better than a lot of like the new camera stuff too. I think I think we're in a weird plateau with new cameras where like a lot of stuff just like feels and looks the same. It's like not that exciting. I hope we hit a new wave though of like camera gear getting more exciting again, or like more advancements, like more unique stuff. Yeah. I don't know what's gonna happen, but even like the X106 from Fuji, it seemed like an iPhone upgrade where it was like they changed a couple little things barely. I don't know.
And gave us things that like I don't think maybe Fuji X100V shooters wanted, but like you can shoot 8K video on that camera or something.
Yeah, it's like ridiculous video quality.
Was anybody asking for video on those cameras? I don't know. Like I would never shoot video on an X100 camera, but that's just me.
The only way I would see that would make sense is like I follow some like street photography YouTube channels that are really cool, like Faisal Westcott. And he has like really good footage in the middle of his photos. So I could see like that actually being a decent hybrid where it's like switch it over to video, get some nice like static shots, switch it into photo. Snap your photos. Like, but still it's like ridiculous quality for that camera.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say like I feel like your retro reviews, I feel like they resonate with a lot of people because it's not like you trying to push a new camera for people to buy.
Yeah.
Which I think is like a breath of fresh air in like the filmmaking, like YouTube space. And I also feel like your humor that you put into your videos is also something that like you don't really see in a lot of other YouTube channels. Like everybody's, I'm not going to say pretentious, but everyone's like a little bit more serious with their stuff. And I just love that like you're just, you don't take yourself too seriously and your stuff is like really funny to like just, watch.
I appreciate that.
Do you feel like, is that something that like you wanted to go into YouTube with like that mindset of like, okay, I'm not going to be serious. I'm just going to like, I know what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to take myself too seriously kind of a thing?
I think, man, that's such a great question. It's impossible for me to like act cool, first of all. Like ever since like I have all my footage from when I was a little kid, like on these old handy cams, and like I've always been like just a dork, like on camera, off camera. I'm just an idiot. Like that's just how I am. And I think when I eventually did decide like, okay, I'm gonna make gear videos because I was getting into the Kinotika thing and stuff. Like, there's so many videos that I watch when I actually want to learn something about a camera that are just like a snooze fest, dude. Like, put me to sleep. This is like golf channel type of vibes. If you like golf, sorry, boring for me. But I just wanted to like add some spice, like have fun. Like a lot of the content that I watch, like I barely watch any camera channels because I'm not that interested in like all the new stuff. So the stuff that I watch is like really goofy and just like highly edited. That's how my style's always been. So I'm just trying to make what I would want to watch, basically. And that's actually a piece of advice Philip Bloom gave me a long time ago. It was just like, make the videos you would want to see. So that's what I'm trying to do.
That's what I strive for too. I don't know. I like watching your stuff because like it always just like puts a smile on my face. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it,
I don't know. Like sometimes I'd rather watch, if you did a review on like a new camera, it would be more fun to watch yours than just like someone that's like, like breaking down the specs. Because honestly, like I feel like a lot of filmmakers feel like this, too. Like I can get an understanding of what the specs is just by reading the spec sheet, but like I like seeing what's being shot with it.
Yeah.
And I also just, I don't know. I feel like you bring that into your videos too, which like you actually shoot with it and then you just, you make jokes and it's super fun to watch.
I appreciate it. I mean, in an ideal world, and maybe I can get to this point like someday, but like anytime I would get access to a new camera, I would love to actually make a piece with it, like a commercial or a short or something. It's funny because those things seem to not do well on my channel. Is like usually randomly, some will, but like I think that's, I don't know. I would rather see like what somebody actually made. Like they actually made a shot list, a script, they're lighting it, they're doing sound design, all that with a camera versus like just reading me a B&H page, I guess. So, but well, dude, so do you still do like, I know you're full time on YouTube, which is amazing. Like congratulations. Cause it's like, dude, such a hard feat to accomplish.
Dude, it's been a journey. That's for sure. I'll tell you that much.
I'm sure, man. And I actually was like looking at your channel and I clicked on like the oldest button because you can see like their oldest videos. And like you've been making gear videos for like 14 years.
Yeah, dude, I've
so crazy.
Probably, I mean, yeah, maybe even longer than that. I have multiple channels, and like my first YouTube channel, I'm not going to say the name because I feel like it's like way too embarrassing, but I can't even log into it anymore because I use like some old email address that I used back when I was a teenager. But
that's so crazy.
I created it in 2006. And even back then, I was like doing camera tests, you know what I mean, with like my GL1 and stuff like that.
Didn't YouTube?
So I was like,
YouTube started in 2005, I think, right?
I think so. Yeah.
You were on it, man.
Dude. So I've been uploading for a really long time. That's why I talk about this on my podcast before, where it's just like I love doing YouTube, but there is still part of me that like graduating to a point where I can do, client work and, like do some commercial work as like my main steady source of income that I can like provide for my family with. Maybe that will be like my main thing at one point, and then YouTube will just kind of be like this side thing that I continue to do for fun, but and maybe still make a little bit of money on.
Do you have a desire for that? Like to do more like professional stuff like that? Yeah,
like I definitely I like the idea of, smaller, lower end, commercials, you know, nothing like super crazy to where it's just going to like, make me a stress ball just thinking about it, but like smaller stuff that I can do and be, be proud of, and then, take that experience into my YouTube channel again.
Yeah.
Cause I feel like that's like one thing that you start lacking as you start being a YouTuber, is that like, especially in the filmmaking space, where it's like, you want to teach people about like different things, but you get really rusty when it comes to actually shooting stuff for a client, Yeah,
because you kind of stop learning in a way if you're not like forcing yourself to do spec work or something. I liked the one you did. You did a spec ad for like that. It was a knife, right?
Yeah, for like a knife company.
Like first person shots. Those are sick, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, you're already like at a level where you could do professional commercials, like no doubt.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. And like that's kind of like the idea is, YouTube there's been like like highs and lows, financially for me as I've quit my day job and just done this full time. But I feel like every single time I decide like, okay, I'm just going to go back into doing freelance work, that's when like my YouTube channel starts to take off again, and like sponsors reach out to me, and I'm just like, okay, I guess I'm still a YouTuber. You know what I mean?
That's so relatable. Holy crap! What was your day job before you made the full-time jump?
Well, I mean, I'd always done like freelance video work as like a side hustle type thing. So I'd always like shot weddings or shot, small stuff for nonprofits and stuff. I worked as an assistant teacher at like a school for a while. And then before that, I worked for the Parks and Rec department for like 8 years here in Portland.
Okay. That's awesome. I can definitely tell, like even your videos have like a bit more of an outdoorsy feel to them, which I really like. And it's like the Pacific Northwest is just incredible.
It's really pretty.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, when I was touring with that band, I think we did 46 or 48 of the states, and like probably Northern California and Oregon were like the most beautiful place I saw, probably.
Yeah. That was one thing that like, because I lived in Texas for like 14 months, and it was a real landscape shock for me to like, come from here and then go to Dallas. I was just like, this isn't what I'm used to.
And the climate too, man. I mean, it's like so gorgeous and like cooler where you're at versus Dallas.
Yeah.
Heat stroke.
I mean, it was, Like, I think when we moved there, it was like the hottest I've ever been in my life. I think it was like 3 weeks where it never got under like 106 or something like that. Like, it was insane.
Dude, speaking of being hot, let's talk about fitness. I actually had a question. I've seen you talk about running a few times, like in your videos and stuff. Like, sorry, this is like so off the cuff, but I'm like trying to get into running. Like, I've been into weightlifting and like basketball throughout my like adult life, but I'm curious about like your running journey. Like, did you just randomly start doing it? Like, how do you get over the pain of your feet falling off all the time? Like, what's your story?
It's been a very gradual and slow, like, build up to where I am now. Like, I don't really talk about this that much, but like back in like 2011, I was like pretty overweight. I was like really close to like 300 pounds. And then
wow, I can't even imagine that.
Like, I dropped 100 pounds in like 8 months or something like that. Just going on like a really extreme diet. But that's when I kind of like after I lost a bunch of weight, like I realized that I could skate better because I'm like a really big skateboarder. And so like I could like, I could ollie higher and stuff like that. It's like, oh, this is sick. Like, there's like less weight on my joints and stuff like that. So I started running, and I just kind of did it like very casually up until I think 2020. Do you know Caleb and Niles from like Moment and Sunny 16?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they started a podcast, shout out to Dad Strides. It's all about, because they're both dads and they like to run. So it's like a podcast all about them, getting back into running. And I was like listening to that like religiously. I was like, man, this is making running seem really fun. And then I've been doing it a lot more now. And I don't know, like the more you run, the more like, it's just, it's probably like weightlifting. Like, the more you do it, the better you get at it. So I'm getting to a point where like I kind of feel like I could maybe do a marathon at some point. Still probably like a little ways out, but that's my ultimate goal, is to be able to like finish a marathon in like under 4 hours or something.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think maybe it was on Instagram or something. I saw you post something. You're like, yeah, today I was like going to go on a run for like a mile, and then it was like 2, and then it ended up being 13.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't, dude. I would just pass away. Like, I wouldn't be on this podcast. That's crazy. 13 miles. Like, how do you recover after that? Or your body's just so tuned to that now it's fine?
Dude, honestly, I don't even know. Cause like I run like 8 miles, or at least I try to, like every other day, just to give like my body one rest day. Since I was so used to running 8 miles, I feel like just, pushing it to 13 just didn't feel that bad. And I was just, I don't know, just feeling good that day. I haven't done it since, but one of these days I'll probably try it again.
Yeah. I mean, that's amazing. Like, how do you get over that initial mental hump? Because I feel like the first like mile for me is always the hardest, and like my body's just like, stop doing this. What are you doing to us?
Well, I feel like, I started out like for like years, I would just run like a 5K, which is like 3.2 miles or something like that. Like, like this is as long as I would do. And then I just like slowly started pushing it more and more and more to like, to 4 miles, then to 6 miles. And then, I don't know, it's just like that really slow progression. That's how I did it anyways. I'm not an expert on running at all. I don't know. There's a lot of runners that say, oh, you shouldn't listen to music. Dude, I listen to music the entire time. Like,
I have to.
Yeah. Like, it's got to like pump me up. And it's, I listen to a lot of like World Cup anthem music, because like I like soccer.
Dude, I'm going to try that. That's so awesome. Just like a whole stadium sound effect cheering you on. Like,
yeah. Dude, that's how I do it. Okay. It's just, Well,
I had to ask you though, because I'm trying to get into it.
Yeah, no, dude, it's super fun once you like, get over that initial hump of where it's just, you get cramps and you feel like crap, but it does get fun. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's good to know. I'm on my way.
I feel like a couple like really big events happened in your life. One probably bigger than the other, but you recently became a dad, right?
Yeah, I didn't give birth to the child, but my wife did. Now I am a dad.
Dude, that is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you, dude. He is the light of my life now, dude. He's amazing. It's like, I was talking to Dave Altizer actually yesterday about this, and because he watched the JCPenney video, and there's like a scene in that video where I actually teared up without planning to, because I was just like reading something about like filming my child, and it like has changed the way I see so many things, and like especially creativity, and like just being able to document his life too, so he can see it someday is going to be amazing. I'm curious to see what he'll think of it when he's a teenager, because in in my life, my childhood footage that my parents got and that I got on these like old 8mm cameras is like the most precious like item in my life, if you can call it that. There's like nothing more important to me digitally than like those old files, basically.
Yeah, like I wanted to bring that up because I feel like that the other milestone that you hit was you like surpassed 100,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel, which I think like pales in comparison to having a kid, you know?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude, are you a dad?
No, not yet. Lord willing, someday, but not yet.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll just have to stay in touch on that and stuff, because it's good to have like friends that are in your like age group too that are like also parents. But yeah, that also hit 100K. That was crazy because, dude, I don't think I've told anybody this other than my wife, but like that I did this like Dr. Disrespect project just kind of on a whim and I don't even think it was my best work or anything like that. I made this YouTube short promoting it that like absolutely exploded and got like 15 million views. And that short gave me 52,000 subscribers.
That's insane.
One YouTube short, which is like, it's really weird to even like think and talk about, but like part of me feels very undeserving of the 100K, because it's like, this came from a YouTube short essentially. Yeah. That like was a teaser video that I made for my Instagram. And I was like, I'll just post it on my channel too, like just to try to get some people to watch this other video. Don't even know how to talk about it. It's insane. Yeah.
But dude, that is, I did not know that it was from a YouTube short. That is crazy. I didn't know that YouTube shorts worked, honestly. I never posted them.
I think it was just a perfect timing thing and like a perfect, like a lot of people were actually pissed at the YouTube short, which I think ended up working in my favor, because like it doesn't reveal what you want it to, and because I made it as a teaser for the long YouTube video. So like if you go look at the long YouTube videos analytics, like all of the traffic came from that one short. So like tons of people were just like funneling into those long form videos, which is like sick, but it like made a lot of people mad too, which is fine. It's just part of it. Yeah. But yeah, just I don't know, it exploded. And then I kind of tried to like replicate it again, but give it more of a payoff with another project I did for a guy called Tim the Tap Man. And that one got 1 million, which is crazy too. So I'm like, okay, there's something to that like format that works, but it's still at the end of the day it's a YouTube short, which I just don't really care about short form stuff that much. So
same man. Well, dude, it's funny that you bring that up, how you feel like you almost don't deserve it. Cause I don't know, I felt that way about that video that blew up of mine, like how to make a 300. Cause like no joke, I don't know if you've ever done this, but like sometimes I'll get like 90% done with a video and then I'll just scrap it, you know? And like, I'll just like take the entire like folder with the project and I'll just like, drag it to my trash bin, just like, okay, this sucks. That's what that video was. Like I was about to scrap that one. I was just like, I'll just post it. And looking back on it now, like it's an okay video, but man, I wish I would have gone viral with a better video. You know what I mean? Like that one just doesn't seem like it's worthy of having a bunch of people watch it. You know what I mean?
But I mean, it clearly like struck a chord with some people, and like, who knows, maybe you would feel the exact same way, even if it was a different video. It's like, you never know. It's like, it's that weird imposter syndrome like feeling. And I think part of it too is like, it's just a number on like your screen that you're seeing. It's like, you're not interacting with these people that are watching it in real life. So there's already a disconnect with it. Yeah. And you're not like a channel that's trying to be viral. So it probably just like feels weird because you're not making these like hype Mr. Beast videos where it's like the goal is 50 billion views or whatever. Yeah.
I mean, it's a weird balance because like I don't want to go viral, but like also when like, videos do well, like you see it in revenue, and it's just like, okay, like I want to provide for, like my wife and dog, I need to make money. So it's like, I do kind of like
dog,
like I do kind of need to make, like videos that get views, but at the same time, like I tried, just like you were saying, like I tried to replicate that video with other, like different cameras and formats, and some of them worked, some of them didn't, but like, man, sticking with that, trying to chase like that wave just got really old really quick.
Yeah, it would definitely be exhausting. And part of me can understand like the channels and the creators out there that are like seeking like viral video after viral video, because when I had my couple videos like explode, like my ad revenue went way up to like, I've never seen it like at that number before. And I was like, oh, I get why this is like addicting for people.
Yeah.
Like, to put all of themselves into going viral. But yeah, I think it'd be really exhausting and stressful just to like always be seeking a number, because it could always be more. So there's like never like true contentment in that, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'll just keep rocking with what I'm doing. I mean, I'm just trying to figure it out too, because I like making projects once in a while that are like, okay, let's try to do something that like could blow up. Because I think that's fun once in a while, but I wouldn't want to do that all the time, I don't think.
I don't know, like what's your plan for building up your YouTube channel? Like, are you just going to kind of like ride the wave as long as you can? Or do you have like, because I mean, that's kind of been like, that's been my, I mean, this is probably like shows how immature in my thinking I am, but I'm just going to ride this wave as long as I can. And then if it fails, I'll just go back into freelance work, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's fine. And it's like everybody has different goals too. And you might discover more as you go. I think I've been like actually wanting to be full-time on YouTube for a really long time. So I'm like, I'm in like full like grind mode right now. Like I'm still like making time for my wife and kid and running once in a while.
There you go.
But basically right now I'm going to really like keep doing this retro series because I like it. And then when it comes to making stuff about newer cameras or whatever, I started a day in the life series where it's like, it takes the pressure off of calling a video a review. Cause I just don't think, I mean, I'm guilty of this as well, but like renting a camera or using it for one day and then making a review on it is not a review. And I'm just stepping away from that. I'm going to just do a series day in the life where I spend a day with the camera and just like see what I can make with it, see what it does, see if it's cool or not. And then still do like big projects once in a while, like the Dr. Disrespect, the Tim the Tatman video. And then I think like to expand, because I really do want YouTube to be like a longevity play for me career-wise, I really want to like break out of just doing filmmaking content. Like I want to start a second channel. I've been brainstorming and maybe do it with some other people as well. But I'm really considering getting into like the gaming space, like, and taking it seriously and doing like a channel that's like really dedicated and like highly produced if possible, and just see if I can like get another channel off the ground. So essentially creating like a small like media, I don't even want to say company, but like maybe just a small team of friends that would just be working on multiple channels or something. That I'm kind of playing with that in my mind right now, but I don't know exactly. I don't want to go back to freelance though, if possible.
Yeah, that's a good plan to have, and I feel like you've thought way more ahead than I did when I just like decided to do YouTube full time.
Yeah, that's cool though that you're not like forcing anything. I think that's important too. Have you ever thought about starting a channel like unrelated to what you're doing now?
So I grew up like as a skate filmer. I think I mentioned that a little bit, but like I would love to just start a skateboarding channel, and just kind of have like more of like a voyeuristic approach of just like filming skateboarding and just making, skate edits. But like there is like a small community of people that'll watch like skate videos. And I feel like my filmmaking knowledge could, translate into making betterly produced skateboarding, content. But at the same time, like the core skateboarding industry or even like the YouTube skateboarding industry, they don't necessarily care about production quality, I feel like. So I'm always on this fence. It's just like I could go into just doing the same like iPhone videos that every other big skate channel is doing right now. Which might get views, but it's only going to get views if I like am skating with people that are popular. Or I could do like the highly produced, like, cinematic skate videos that like might, strike a chord with some people, but it might ostracize me from like the core skateboarding community. So I'm kind of like, I go back and forth with that a bunch, but that's the other thing that like, if I wasn't doing filmmaking, I would love to do like skateboarding related content.
Dude, that'd be sick. Yeah. And I don't know how you feel about it, but when I picture like starting up another channel and stuff, there's like no way I could do it by myself. Like I would have to have either a shooter or an editor or both. And like, I can't pay someone right now. So it's like not on the table at this moment, but it's just dude, it is so much work. Like I'm trying to make a video once a week and it feels like almost impossible sometimes.
Dude, it's so hard. And I don't know, like I know how other people do it. Like they do have a team,
Yeah.
Like I was just talking like the other day about like how nice would it be just to have like a manager who could just like, do all of your your email corresponding with like, you know, like brands and companies and stuff like that. Like
Yes.
I hate that part of being a YouTuber. I don't know about you,
And
but
it's
like that's the worst.
And it never ends. It's not
Yeah.
like, oh, Monday morning I'll do that for 2 hours. It's like, no, you're talking to brands and people like throughout the entire week. And like some
Yeah.
of them are from other countries. So they're responding like super late at night or whatever. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's hard to turn that part off. I agree. That would be like the best part to have like a person fill the business side of it for sure.
Like one really quick question, because I know that like I talk about gear on this podcast a lot, so I'm just going to ask you: is the FX30 still the GOAT right now? Is that what you're using,
dude? That's what I'm filming this on right now. It's my A camera right now. I use it for everything. I was thinking about this before we filmed, and I think it's like my new GH5 in a way. Like it's very similar because like with the GH5, I would rock the speed booster to make the sensor appear bigger. Yeah. But it's like, oh, that's kind of like what the FX30 is to me now, but it has autofocus. So yeah, it's my baby right now. And I actually had a question for you too. I wrote down like, what is your GOAT camera that you've used like throughout your entire life and career?
I mean, that I've owned or that I've used?
Oh, let's go with owned.
Owned. Okay. Honestly, it's probably, I mean, I could say that the X5 2X, it's a great camera. As far as like image quality goes, I think this is like the best camera that I've owned. As far as like what's made my career, probably the GH3.
Nice.
Like, I used the Panasonic GH3 like so much, and like most of my like highlight, like, you know, like highest viewed videos are the GH3. Like that how to make a $300 camera like pro video, that was a GH3.
Yeah, that's so sick. Yeah, I would say GH5 for me. I was thinking about it today. Just like I have so many memories tied to that camera, like more than any other camera by far. Literally took it everywhere in the United States and Germany as well. It's like it just like wouldn't break. It was so good.
Yeah,
I kind of miss that camera.
It's a sick camera, and I feel like, I mean, I just recently got rid of it, but it's like it mixed with my S5 2X footage perfectly. Like you really like you have to be like really pixel peeping or like looking at highlight roll off or, you know, like dynamic range to really know the difference. But as far as like sharpness, very, very similar.
Can I ask you one more Lumix related thing really quick?
Sure.
You kind of touched on this in your last podcast episode where it was just you solo. Mm-hmm. What do you think about them like reinventing the EVA 1? Because I thought that camera was so cool for the time. Yeah. And it's kind of a bummer that like there isn't that FX6 competitor from Lumix. Like imagine they just put the guts of your S5 2X in a body like that. I think that'd be sick.
Yeah, I know. That's like, I wish they would do that, but I just, for some reason, I don't see that on the horizon anytime soon. You know, they made sick cameras. I mean, like you're reviewing the AF100. That I wouldn't say is a sick camera, but like they did, like they made cinema cameras like the AF100 and the EVA 1. I wish they would go back to that and give people like me something to upgrade to. You know what I mean? Because that's like, I've really been considering the FX30 strictly because I like the Sigma 18 to 50 and the Sigma 11 to 18. Like those two lenses with an FX30, that would be killer for me because like they're the perfect range. But I've considered switching to Sony because there's an obvious upgrade path. Like I could go to an FX6 at some point, you know, if I wanted to, you know, get into like the higher end stuff. But with Lumix, there's not really, like, there's nowhere up for me to go right now, you know? Like, I could go to the S1H, but, like, that's, it's, like, what, 3 or 4 years old at this point? It'd be nice if they started doing more cinema stuff. I just don't really see it happening.
Yeah. This is just a theory. I don't know people from Panasonic. I don't think I do. But maybe they're just trying to, like, sort out their tech first or something. Like, maybe they're like, okay, let's, like, nail this autofocus thing. Because it's like it's a lot better now, but like imagine they got it to like Canon, Sony level, because like everything else is amazing pretty much about those cameras, and then they could release like the next S5 and then maybe the next SH, and then like it'd be sick to see an EVA style body with like that tech in it. Dude, they would crush. They would crush. It'd be insane.
Yeah, with like, the fact that they always offer open gate and stuff like that, which a lot of other, like I know Sony's don't, because I do client work every once in a while, but it is nice to give them the option of like, a square image so I can, crop it for, I say this on my second channel all the time, but it's just like, I'm not paid by Lumix to, keep using their cameras. Like I'll switch to Fujifilm or Sony if I want to.
I think it's fun, like jumping brands and just like pissing people off once in a while. Because people don't know the history of your channel. Like I made a video that was comparing the S5 II and the FX30 when I was deciding which one to buy, and I chose the Sony, obviously. But so many people were just saying I like hated Lumix or whatever, not knowing that like I was obsessed. Like I had the GH4 and the GH5 forever. I loved those cameras. Yeah, but I mean that's just YouTube comments. Oh yeah, that's just how it goes. Oh yeah, but I think Lumix could be like the perfect smoothie blend of Blackmagic and Sony, if they, because they have like the open gate, the beautiful images, and they're on their way to the autofocus thing too. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm here for it.
All right, man. Well, I mean, I've kept you for a little over an hour now, it seems. I just have one last question, and that is, if you could give advice to anyone who wants to get into this whole filmmaking and YouTube world, like what would that be?
Run. No, I guess I would say don't be afraid to experiment. And don't feel like you have to copy what other people are doing in this space, because I think we're in a weird transition phase where there's like this skier stuff where everything's like kind of the same and everybody's talking about the same things. But just like, I mean, embrace what filmmaking is. And that's like telling stories and experimenting, like figuring things out and having fun with it. I'm biased because I just love having fun, but you don't have to take yourself so seriously, and don't do it alone if possible, because it can be a very lonely road. I'm sure you know that. You've been full-time for 4 years. Absolutely. But yeah, just like have fun and like try to get other people involved too. It's way more fun that way.
Yeah, no, I think that's perfect advice and a great place to end it. I definitely, just to like, piggyback on what you were saying, I feel like it helps sometimes to take inspiration from other YouTube channels that have nothing to do with filmmaking, because I feel like sometimes you can make better stuff if you're like, borrowing from other channels that aren't, in the same space.
Yeah, 100%. That's a great point, man. And then you'll stand out a lot more too and have more fun with that. And also I think like one last thing would be, don't set up like a specific expectation for your path, because you might be led down a really windy, strange road, but you might need that to pick up the lessons you need to get to the next thing. Because like my path has been all over the place and I still have no idea where it's going. Yeah. But I'm just trusting that like I'm following the path the best that I can. Yeah. And we'll see where it goes and just embrace it, I guess.
Dude, Zach, thanks so much for jumping on the pod. It was really fun talking to you, and we'll definitely have to have you on again. This is so fun.
That would be sick. Also, last question. How do you pronounce your last name?
It's pronounced Bajos, but...
Bajos. Okay, that's what I thought you said when I listened to your other podcast.
Yeah, I say it both ways. It's weird. In Portuguese, when you have double R's, it's pronounced as an H.
Okay.
Bajos. Yes, because my dad's Brazilian, so it's pronounced Bajos, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, next time we hang out, we got to like talk more about your history too and like how you got where you got. I think that'd be super fun.
Okay, yeah, sick, man. I'm down.
All right, cool. Dude. Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, man.